you still in love with him?
You're not listening to me. The man went to prison. He spent 5 years in prison for me.
He spent 5 years in prison for murder.
What about reasonable doubt? I'm telling you what I know happened.
And I'm asking you if you're still in love with Robert Barr.
Why? Would that explain something?
I really don't see why it should be so difficult for you to give me a yes or a no.
Do you think I am so shallow, so without conscience that I don't care if a guy rots in jail unless I have some secret wish to want to sleep with him? You know, I'll tell you something. It's no mystery to me what I saw in him then because it's not hard to find it in him now. I cannot even fathom what he must have given up for me. And yes, I do believe he did it out of love. Now, whether he was the love of my life or a complete stranger, I would hope I would have the guts enough to take responsibility for something that happened 10 years ago. A murder he did not commit, that he should not have to shoulder the rest of his God-given life.
Well, I would like to apologize for posing such a difficult question. On the other hand, I don't think I need an act of Congress to ask my wife something she finds unpleasant, insulting even, because I need to know. Now, tell me, are you still in love with Robert?
You can ask all you want, and you aren't going to get the answer.
This is remarkable. I have no idea where I stand with you.
Well, Robert's your prisoner. Apparently, so am I.
All right, go. Walk away. Go out. Leave. Go.
Give me the keys to the handcuffs.
I can't do that.
Don't talk to me about your duty.
This is what you wanted, is it not? This is what you and your father begged me to do from the minute this man came to town.
No, don't pat yourself on the back. Okay. This is what you want,
right.
and nobody
I guess
else.
The other things that he did, locking me up on San Sebastian, keeping me hostage for a week in that damn barn with that... I guess that stuff doesn't matter anymore, right?
I don't think it's any worse than what I did to him for 5 years, do you?
Will you tell me one more time why you insist on taking the blame for killing a man based on nothing more than another man's say-so?
Because I remember. Because I remember it to be true.
Let's examine what you remembered. You remembered they pushed a man away from you. He fell down and hit his head. That's it. That does not meet any definition of murder that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, so maybe it was accidental. But you know what? The point is still the same. I took a man's life, no matter how you want to sludge it off, whatever the explanation is. And don't you dare condescend me by saying I'm trying to make it up.
What I am saying is that you don't know as much about this as you think you do. Okay? That's all I'm saying. This man went before a court of law. Okay, even if things went exactly the way you say they did, even if he was crazy enough to confess to something he didn't do, nobody hangs on a confession alone. Evidence was presented on both sides. You have no idea what it was, and neither do I, till we see the transcripts. What we know is that Robert and Raul had a history. Now, maybe what killed Raul had more to do with that history than with the knock he got on the head from you. So it was an accident. Let's say it was an accident, just the way you say it was. Don't you think Robert would have piped up and said so in court? You think sitting there like a log and letting himself be sentenced for the rest of his life for no good reason was romance? That would have been stupidity. And since he is obviously not a stupid man, there has to be more to it. Now, against my better judgment, I promise you that he will get a fair shake when this case is reopened.
How? Nothing has changed in 10 years if I don't go out and testify, unless I turn myself in.
You can't testify, anyway.
Why not?
Because you're not a credible witness. You had amnesia. You were in love with the man. The prosecution would dismiss you like that.
Oh, I see. So you're telling me I really shouldn't be involved at all.
Eden, I'm trying to tell you that I know you, and I know what you're capable of. And God knows he has shown on many occasions what he is capable of.
Or maybe you really don't know me. Maybe nobody does. I mean, Raul died that summer. The accident that caused my memory loss didn't happen until spring the next year. I mean, what happened about the time in between? I mean, have you thought about that? I have. I mean, the last I know, Raul was rolled up in a rug, and Robert put him in the dinghy and took him off. I mean, did I say anything to anybody? No. Did I go to the trial? No. Did I say anything at all? Did I admit guilt? No. Did I even try to figure out what happened with these two people? No. I went home. I went to Switzerland. I let somebody else hang for it. I think that you should think about the person that you married. I think that you should think about the person that's raised your children. I think you should think about all of that. And then you tell me what you think I'm capable of.
Maybe you thought Raul was right about Robert?
I didn't.
Maybe you were waiting to hear from Robert.
Is that what you would have done?
For God's sake. You came home, your brother Channing was killed. Your daddy hustled you off to Europe. Is that so inexplicable? Admittedly, there are still questions that need to be answered. The only way to do it is to reopen the case.
Well, on that we agree.
Look, we're going to have to finish this at home. I have some things I have to take care of before I can call this a night.
So do I.
Yeah, Victor Boswell, please. Mrs. Castillo. Yeah, Lieutenant, well then who is somebody else around there who could dig up some records for me? I got something to move on. I got to move on it fast.
Some happy ending, huh?
Nothing more is going to happen to you.
What did he say? I took a gamble. It didn't pay off, that's all.
No, you just, do what he says and, don't bother him. And you'll be free by morning. I broke a lot of promises to you. And I promise you that this is one I'll keep.
Like, where are you going?
Home.
And then where? And don't be a fool. You're not going to accomplish anything.
I'm not going to leave things like this.
All you're going to do is bring a scandal down on yourself and your family. They're going to disallow everything you say. Your memory does not exactly make you a reliable witness.
Yeah, but this time, we'll both be saying the same thing.
No. Look, it's different now. I'm not a poor little island boy anymore. I can assemble the best defense team in the world.
You don't know Cruz.
I can take care of myself, all right? I've been doing it all my life.
Yeah, so can I. I mean, you love me so much. Why didn't you know that about me? When this whole nightmare started, why didn't you come and find me? You know who I was. You knew where to find me.
I tried to. They wouldn't give me an overseas call. They allowed me a telegram. My lawyer sent one, too. Why didn't give me a response?
It was probably my father, huh?
It doesn't matter now. Look, now I know you didn't turn your back on me. You decided it wasn't worth the trouble. That's all that matters.
You know, I want to say something to you, and I don't want you to listen because I don't think I'll ever say it again. I loved you then. but it's just as real. And Robert, I don't know who I wanted to be when I was with you and when I was remembering. But I think I have wanted to be that girl, that just did as she damn well pleased and didn't really care what anybody else thought. But you see, I know I don't want to be that anymore. You really deserve better. You really do. And this is the one time I want to make sure you get it.
We're going to take a drive. You have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say...
Skip this. I've heard it before.
Okay. Anybody you want to call the police at the station?
No, I don't want to call anybody.
Nobody in high places?
No.
Okay. Fine, give me a wrist.
Look, you don't have to do this. I want the record to show that I went with you willingly, all right?
Of course you wouldn't be willingly. After how many weeks was that?
You don't know who your friends are, do you, pal? I'm about to give you a present.
Really, what's that?
Your wife.
Grandpa Castillo thinks that they're up, but it's a little too late for them.
Yeah, your grandfather's right. You should be in bed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I think I might be going somewhere in the morning. Will you listen to your father? Do everything he says? Okay.
What are you talking about? What do you mean? Where will you be?
I don't know. I might have someplace to go.
Okay. Does Cruz know?
Yeah. Is somebody on the deck?
No. I don't see anyone. I don't hear anyone. Eden, are you all right? What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm just tired.
Listen, why don't I take them and put them back to sleep?
Okay, please.
All right?
Okay.
There we go. Listen, you're not going to go anywhere right now, all right?
No.
That's true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Want him to leave your door open a little bit?
All
Okay.
right, I'll do that.
Okay. You go on upstairs with him.
Listen, you're not going to be leaving now, right?
No.
Oh, by the way, we're going to have a little snack in the kitchen right now.
Oh.
Me too. Me.
Listen. I can't talk right now. I gotta leave.
No, don't. First, I need to hear what Barr had to say to you. You're not thinking straight.
For God's sakes, Mason, you're a lawyer. Don't you have some small interest in seeing justice done?
It will be. Robert Barr will get a fair shake in court without you.
How? That's what Cruz said. Answer me how. What has been completed in 10 years if I don't step forward?
Well, for one thing, Barr owns Serenas now. Maybe he owns the judiciary, too. Let him save his own hide.
The court is in San Sebastian. Why am I even explaining this? That is not the point.
I'll tell you what the point is. Robert Barr has managed to keep himself out of prison for dozens of other illegal scams that he's pulled off. He can get out of this one, too. And if not, then so what?
Mason.
But if you insist on charging into a courtroom, claiming that you killed somebody, that is another matter entirely. We don't know how the courts work there. We don't want to have to scavenge on the beach trying to find somebody who's licensed to practice law there who may or may not be able to explain that what you really mean is that you gave some poor slob a bump on the head because he was trying to tear your clothes off.
Mason, I have no intention of going to prison. As long as I can explain to them that it was an accident.
Well, that may be easier said than done.
Why?
Because of Raul's family. His father was a very important man for all I know. He
Come
still
on,
is.
Mason, there isn't any royalty on Serenas.
Eden. He ran the only whorehouse on San Sebastian, which gives him something on everybody. Now, that's my definition of real power. Raul was a chip off the old block. He took Jerry Calhoun and me to the old man's flop house on numerous occasions. In fact, that's where Jerry's virginity bit the dust. Then the rest of the summer, Raul was intolerable. There was nothing that I could ask or tell him to do without the threat hanging over my head of him telling Dad. Even when watches and wallets started disappearing on the yacht, I kept my mouth shut. But I couldn't keep still about the way he was looking at you.
Raul never hurt me.
If you don't remember, then so much the better.
Wait a second, Mason, he did?
I spoke to you about it, and you told me to mind my own business. He wanted you, and you knew it, and I knew it. And you were too young yet to know the kind of man to be avoided, which I guess accounts for Robert Barr.
You know, I have to tell you something. The Castillo children, they know how to snack well. Oh, hello, Mason.
Hello, how are you?
Pretty good. Everything's all right, huh?
Yes, everything's fine.
Yes, good.
Listen, could you stay here until Cruz gets back? I have to go someplace.
No, you don't. Where?
Yes, I can stay. Are you all right?
Eden, you're not going anywhere.
You know something, Mason?
Mason!
You know, you and I have not been introduced formally. Rafael Castillo. It's a little late. Maybe you're getting tired, huh?
Real name.
Robert Parisi.
Place of birth.
Province of La Serena. Republic of San Sebastian.
You have been informed of your right to legal representation.
Yes,
But for the purposes of these questions, you have waived that right, is that correct?
that is correct.
Are you the same Robert Parisi who was sentenced to life imprisonment by the Provincial Court of Appeals of the Republic of San Sebastian on September 5th, 1979?
Yes.
And you escaped from the San Sebastian Territorial Prison on May 8th, 1984.
A feast of the Blessed Virgin. Yes.
You have claimed to be innocent of the crime for which you were sentenced.
Doesn't everybody claim that?
But did you or did you not cause the death of the man known as Raul Mondragon?
Yes, I did.
How?
Without premeditation, which is why I feel my sentence was unjust.
Are you requesting the protection of the government of these United States?
No.
You are willing to be extradited and stand trial for your crimes?
Yes, I am.
All right. What the hell is this?
You don't know?
Okay. Before you can be extradited, the court may attempt to learn whether you were justly charged.
I just told you I wasn't.
Describe to me how you brought about the death of Raul Mondragon.
His father and I had been at odds for several years.
Why?
Let's just say there were territorial disagreements. We didn't get along. Right? It's irrelevant. Culminated in an argument between Raul and myself.
Where?
On the yacht that he was working on that summer.
Whose yacht was that?
I don't remember. Anyway, I hit him. He fell over. He hit his head on a table, and he died instantly.
Had he suffered any previous injury that night?
Not to my knowledge.
That's odd. I have here a copy of the coroner's report on Mondragon, which was wired to us from San Sebastian earlier this evening. It states that the deceased had been struck repeatedly in the area of his left temple, which fractured his skull over the left ear. The resultant massive cerebral hemorrhage was the immediate cause of death. There's also a mention here of a minor bruise on the lower posterior of the skull, which the coroner notes was sufficient to cause unconsciousness, but not death.
What can I tell you? It was a long time ago. I don't really remember the details.
He's lying. Can't you see that? What are you doing?
I'm erasing this.
Didn't you leave well enough alone?
It wasn't either one of you.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Mondragon was murdered by somebody else.
There was Kelly and Ted, but they were young. There was Mason, Jerry Calhoun, my father, Bill Lassiter, who was chief executive of the corporation, Jane and Bob Craig, Allison Long.
All right, what about the crew?
The captain and the first mate have been with us for 15 years.
Were any other locals working on board?
I can't...
No. The only ones I ever saw besides Raoul were these little kids. They were like 12 or 13 years old. They wouldn't have been at the party.
So who among these people had any kind of relationship with Raoul?
I don't know. I guess none, really. There were people who didn't like him, though.
Who?
Don't you think you're stretching a little bit? The only person I can implicate is myself.
Well, just, take a minute. Give it a thought. Okay?
I don't know if he's making things better or worse.
Well, at least he's not blaming you.
No, I know that, but he's dragging you into it after all. If he doesn't come up with this hypothetical third person, our guilty party, it comes back to us, doesn't it?
What?
If Raoul hadn't gotten in the way, and we had run off together the way we planned, you think we would have been married? I know I do.
Probably, yeah.
And today your home would be my home. And your children would be mine.
I still live at Cruz.
How?
I don't know. I just think I would have met it.
What the hell? Jumpy, aren't we?
So?
So why not give it a chance?
It's too elaborate.
Not to mention insane.
Well, do you have a better idea, Mason?
Don't I usually?
Please don't keep us in suspense, Mason.
Well, instead of borrowing so heavily from Rube Goldberg and Agatha Christie, not to mention risking all our necks, I have a much simpler, cleaner solution. Forget the whole thing.
I kind of thought you'd say that.
That far I can't go.
Then you don't know a good thing when you hear it, which doesn't surprise me. Now, if Cruz is convinced, Lord only knows how, that you didn't kill anybody, then we can shake hands, walk out, keep our mouths shut, and get back to cutthroat business instead of the business of cutting throats.
No. That still leaves me hanging here. One of you can change your mind any time and send me back to prison.
Well, then you'll just have to be extra special nice to all of us.
You know, this is really besides the point. A man was murdered.
Thank you.
But if we have no idea by whom, do we have to hold a contest about it? There are many mysteries in the universe. I do not feel personally obligated to solve them. There are TV shows for that purpose with 800 numbers so that people can dial up and tell on their neighbors.
I need to know.
Why?
I need to know it wasn't me.
All right.
So you'll be there?
But I'm not dragging Julia into this.
Nobody's asking you to.
Thank you.
For what?
For doing this, for doing it this way.
Am I or am I not free to go?
You are.
This is all going to be over soon.
So we keep saying.
Look at the moon.
Yeah, there it is. It's up there every night, isn't it?
Feel like I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen a lot of things lately, have you, sweetie? I don't think you've seen me.
Yes, I have.
Well, not really. Not if you think I'd lynch Robert Barr just to get rid of him.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I guess maybe remembering who you were made you forget who I am, huh?
Fear makes people do strange things. But I never forgot you. No.
The door was open. It's always open to you.
You okay? What are you looking at?
So, can Nelson you over here? What does he want?
He's curious.
Curious.
He wants to know how bad the damage is, you know?
No, there is no damage. Yet.
You saw Castillo?
And
What did he say?
he thinks I'm innocent.
Good.
I am, you know.
Bobby, you know what I do when things get really tight? I travel. When's the last time you saw Paris?
Yeah, you're right. Well, I need with all this. I keep saying I'm going to go back to Serenus and whatever, right? What do I need with all this? Beats the hell out of me. That's all I got, so I guess I gotta figure it out. You can tell our friend Tennell that you found me in fighting trim.
I will. I'll do that.
Good.
Hi.
Good night.
Thanks. Thanks for being so patient.
I'll speak to you in the morning.
All right.
Thanks.
How's this?
Well, this is good. Although it may have a few too many words in it.
Well, I thought we should be clear. You know, people get alarmed when they get a telegram.
Well, I think these people ought to be alarmed by this telegram.
You crossed out my name on the bottom.
Yeah, that's because you're not going to be there.
What are you talking about? How can this happen without me?
It has to. If the wrong person gets the idea that you know more than they want you to, I just can't take that risk.
When are you going to stop protecting me?
I'm not. I'm not.
I'll wait up for you.
All right, I'll just be a couple of minutes. Yeah, I'd like to send 10 telegrams for delivery tomorrow morning. It'll be the same message on each of them. Okay, the first is to Mr. C.C. Capwell.
I think he's still out of town.
Yeah, his address is 300 Park Lane in Montecito. Mason Capwell? That's 103 White Sand Place.